Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Charles Hugh Smith is a widely followed observer of society. His blog, which is called Of Two Minds, has had 20 million views. I was particularly stimulated by his article yesterday called It's Not Just the News That's Fake, Everything's Fake. Here are excerpts. Corporate media is fake, a carefully crafted con. A set of narratives, cherry-picked data, and heavily massaged statistics, the unemployment rate, for example, designed to instill the reader's confidence in a narrative that serves the interest not of the citizenry, but of a select few pillaging the citizenry. That, quote, organic produce from some other country, did anyone test the soil that produce grew in? It could be loaded with heavy metals and be certified organic because no pesticides were used in production. But are there any nutrients left in the soil, or has it been depleted? What's in the water used to irrigate the crops? The employment and unemployment statistics are obviously a con. 93 million people aren't even counted anymore. They're statistical zombies, no longer among the living workforce. If the unemployment rate were calculated on the number of full-time jobs in the true workforce, that is, everyone ages 18 to 70 that isn't institutionalized or in prison, the unemployment rate would not be the absurdly delusional 3.7% claimed by the bureaucratic con artists. Democracy? Fake. The live entertainment of elections sells a lot of ads and enriches the corporate media, but nothing actually changes. The deep state runs the federal government, and deep pockets run state and local government. Those are Charles Hugh Smith's points, and I would add these. Marketing, even of life and death products like pharmaceuticals. See the review of advertisements I wrote in Time. I think it's called Ads Are More Deceptive Than Ever, and then search on that title and the word Nemco. The marketing sleaze extends even to nonprofits, whose fundraisers often finesse their charities' cost effectiveness, let alone their effectiveness in comparison with other nonprofits. Nonprofits may also fudge the information they send to websites that curate charities. A subset of marketing, of course, is salespeople. They get ever more sophisticated training. For example, the Sandler method, designed to manipulate customers into trusting and liking them enough that they'll buy what they otherwise wouldn't. Proprietary, not made public sales training tends to be particularly manipulative. But take a look even at publicly published sales training. For example, 12 direct sales techniques to sell pretty much anything. You can just Google that. 12 direct sales techniques to sell pretty much anything. Looking at those should make us cautious about dealing with salespeople who make their living on commission and who stay employed only if they make their number. Deliberate bias from some Twitter posters to some media members to some researchers. Google, if you want, a researcher bias, you'll see what I mean. Politicians, they evade journalist questions. They say one thing to one audience and the opposite to another, and too often don't practice what they preach. Just a few examples. The environmentalist's minister-in-chief, Al Gore, when his movie An Inconvenient Truth was released, had a home electric bill 20 times that of the average American to pay for his 10,000-foot compound on a 2-acre lot. Now it's zoomed to 34 times as large. Bernie Sanders exhorts for a living wage, yet he pays some of his highly curated staffers, it's not easy to get a job working for Sanders, less than minimum wage. And that doesn't count the many volunteers whom Sanders got to work for him for zero. Presidents Obama and Clinton passionately tout public education, except when it comes to their kids. Chelsea Clinton, Malia Obama, and Sasha Obama all went to the ultra-Tony Sidwell Friends private school. Activist entertainers are monuments to hypocrisy. For example, Barbra Streisand sings for the poor, yet has a net worth of $400 million as of 2018. She could give away 90% and still live lavishly while saving and improving the lives of countless people that she claims to care so much about. But it's easier to sing for an hour. Streisand lives in a 20,000 square foot compound on the Malibu beach, which could house dozens of poor people, yet she doesn't house one. She'd rather stare at her zillion-dollar art collection or her legendary diamond collection. The hiring process. It's been said that the job interview is two people lying to each other. And as a career counselor, I have had my eyes open to the number of job seekers willing to lie on their resume, cover letters, interviews, even references, for example, listing their romantic partner as their former boss. I, who pride myself on integrity, also am fake. For example, every time I give my career counseling clients excessive hope for their employment future. The takeaway? Increasingly, truth seems to be replaced by truthiness, that is, the appearance of truth. So more than ever, we should treasure people we truly can trust. On a societal level, it would seem our best hope is to slowly reinvent society so it values ethics over the material. But even if we do, Charles Hugh Smith points to a most thorny problem. Quote, even if we taxed all the big tech corporations at 75%, a rate that's politically unrealistic, that would yield just $100 billion, only 1/10 of universal basic income's minimum cost. And that's just for bare bones housing, healthcare, food, clothing, and transportation. And that's just in the US, the richest economy. What about the rest of the planet's 7.54 billion people? Might a long-term answer reside in a combination of gene therapy and education? A decade or three from now, when it becomes feasible, should parents have the option, and I emphasize the word option, subsidized for the poor as are all medical procedures, to have their children take an intelligence quote-unquote pill and a motivation quote-unquote pill. I do believe that eventually we will discover that motivation and drive have a genetic component. Then in education, should we stress the cosmic justice and responsibility that we all share to work for the collective good? That's my best shot. And in the comment section below, I welcome reading yours. In any event, I'm Marty Nemko. Thank you for watching. In addition to your comments, feel free to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you deem appropriate, to share it on your social media, or subscribe to my channel. In any event, again, I'm Marty Nemko.